And now, marine weather around Alaska.
We'll start today's marine section off with looking at tonight's weather map. That low now crossing the western Brooks Range tracks off to the northeast quite rapidly here over the Mackenzie River Bay area by late tonight, after midnight. Colder air coming down on the backside of that. Snow, areas of blowing snow, gusty winds, especially here along the central and eastern Beaufort Sea coast into the Brooks Range. Some snow. Break here in the central interior. Another system tracking northeastward, bringing rain and a widespread area of rain from Bristol Bay up into the North Gulf Coast, south central Alaska. Rain spreading in during the late night time into the early morning hours here, and even into the southeast coast, especially up here in the northern areas. Not so much down to the south. Unsettled and breezy for the Aleutians with a lot of showers and rain. And then for tomorrow, again, much lighter winds across the entire area for the day tomorrow, except out here in the west will be on the increase again, ahead of a next strong system they're developing that we'll see on Tuesday. Really deepens, 954 millibars. That low center moves up to near or just south of Atka Island. And that's going to track eastward here. Storm warnings into the Alaska Peninsula with a good area of gale force winds and storm warnings around that center. South to north flow keeps temperatures mild and areas of rain and showers here for the Seward Peninsula all the way down and starting to scatter out here for the southwest coast here into Bristol Bay. Should be a dry day tomorrow, some clearing for Kodiak Island. And this system down here just coming onto the chart tonight, or actually for tomorrow, tracks rapidly northeastward for Tuesday, brings rain and wind into the northern panhandle, lighter wind and rain to the south, but a good shot of moisture coming into that area finally. And then this system tracks eastward for Wednesday to the Alaska Peninsula, and that pushes a front with gale and possible storm force winds here into the western Gulf of Alaska, Barren Island areas, and rain starting to bear down on the southeast coast. We'll see this low tracks eastward near Kodiak Island, maybe a little farther to the south, but should move into just south of Prince William Sound Thursday afternoon. Rain, gale force winds will be back in the picture for the southeast coast. Not so bad up over the interior, just some scattered rain and snow showers over the the Tanana Valley here. And gusty west winds for the Alaska Peninsula and a weak system coming into the far western Aleutians. Coastal water forecast there for the south coast. South winds 15 knots tomorrow there along Prince of Wales Island. Small craft advisories for the central coast, southeast at 25, and east-southeast 25 to 40 knots for the north coast. Lynn Canal, Glacier Bay, Stevens Passage, wind southeast Monday at 20 knots, south or north at 10 for Clarence Strait. And for Tuesday, south winds 10 knots for Clarence Strait and 20 knot winds for Stevens Passage and Lynn Canal. In the south coast, south at 15, central coast, south to southeast at 20 knots, and the north coast, southeast at 25 knots, the seas around 10 feet. Prince William Sound tomorrow, east winds 20 knots, seas 4 feet. And for the eastern North Gulf Coast, south to southeast winds 20 to 25 knots, seas 8 feet. Variable winds 15 here south of Resurrection Bay, south of 15 for the Barren Islands, southeast 15 for Kamishak Bay and Cook Inlet. Not too bad. North to northeasterlies at 10 to 15 knots with seas 3 feet. And for Tuesday, northern Cook Inlet, southeast at 10, but small craft advisories for southern Cook Inlet, south 25 knots. Gale warnings for Kamishak Bay and the Barren Islands. South winds 35 knots. Western North Gulf Coast southwest at 25 knots. And the east side there, southwest at 15. Prince William Sound, south winds 15 knots. And for the Kodiak Island zone tomorrow, southwest winds 20 to 25 knots. Seas up to 11 feet. The Alaska Peninsula, west to south winds at 20 to 25 knots with seas 6 to 7 feet, and west winds at 20 with 6-foot seas for Bristol Bay. Big increase in the winds with that next big storm farther to the west here coming into the Alaska Peninsula. Storm warnings out. In fact, for south to southeast winds 45 to 50 knots with seas up to 24 feet. High gales, max gales, full gales for the Bristol Bay area, southeast 45 knots, and Kodiak Island south winds at 30 knots with 8 to 9 foot seas. And for the eastern Aleutians tomorrow, south to southwest winds 20 to 25 knots, southwest 25 there for Adak and Atka, And the western Aleutians, west to southwest winds 15 to 30 knots. And then for Tuesday, for the western Aleutians here, northwest winds 30 to 40 knots. And west-northwest at 45 knots for Adak and Atco, with those seas 15 to 25 feet here. And then for the Fox Islands, south to southwest winds at 50 knots, with seas running 20 to 30 feet. And for the southwest coast tomorrow, much lighter winds here, actually from the Bering Strait all the way down across the entire Bering Sea. We've got for the southwest coast, south to southwesterlies at 10 to 15 knots, just west at 15 for Norton Sound, southeast at 10 for St. Lawrence Island, south 20 for the Pribilofs, southeast 15 for St. Matthew Island. And then Tuesday, winds increasing to 40 knots there for the Pribilof Islands, out of the east and northeast 30 knots for St. Matthew Island. And full gales here for the Kuskokwim Delta coastline, southeast 45 knots, south at 20 for the Yukon Delta coast. Small craft advisory, St. Lawrence Island south at 25, and a south wind at 20 knots for Norton Sound. For the eastern Beaufort Sea coast tomorrow, again with that low kicking off, strong gale force westerlies in the forecast there at 35 knots, 7 to 8 foot seas. Central and western Arctic coast, northwest at 20 knots in the Chukchi Sea, northwest winds 15 to 20 knots. And then for the day on Tuesday, south to southeast winds for the Chukchi Sea at 15 to 20 knots, western Arctic coast south at 20, central coast, actually the central and east side here, winds will be southwest at 20 knots with 4 foot seas.